So this weekend I went to a workshop entitled Loss, Grief, and Timeless Love, given by Tara Brach. For those of you who don't know, Tara is the author of several books, including Radical Acceptance. She's a beloved teacher, internationally known, and she's the co-founder of MMTCP, where yours truly got their teaching certificate. Anyway, this course will be offered by Nick Abim in the fall, and if you're interested, I can share that with you when it comes online. It'll be a 6-week course. The workshop was profoundly healing. And the place was packed because we inherently sense the significance of dealing with grief and loss. We might not be comfortable with it. It might be alien to us, but we know it's important. I mean, loss can feel so uncomfortable, and we habitually run away. Why can't Egyptian crocodiles get through the 5 stages of grief? They keep getting stuck in denial. The truth is, unprocessed grief causes suffering. Unprocessed grief is like rising bread dough, squeezing out of the container cracks. And these mutations come in the form of anger, fear, intimidation, depression, addiction. Tara says, unless we mourn, we cannot act wisely. So this grief is caused by loss. And loss is really the pain of separation. The pain of separation. And we instinctively avoid pain. The friend that I was at the workshop with noted that she was tired. She was so tired, it was hard for her to listen. And she also noted that she's grieving the loss of the closeness with her children as they grow up. And she put 2 and 2 together. It's hard for me to stay with this because it's so uncomfortable. So it's as normal as can be to avoid pain. But pain is important. There's this rare genetic disorder, CIP, it's called, that prevents people from feeling pain. It prevents the nervous system from transmitting the pain to the brain. And people with CIP are in danger of harming themselves. If you have this disorder, you can put your hand in a pot of boiling water and not feel it. Pain is important. It protects us. And emotional pain is as real as physical pain. Emotional pain actually is physical pain. It actually is in our body. The heart clutches. It's a physical sensation. And it's as important to feel this emotional pain as it is to feel physical pain, to keep ourselves safe and well. But we avoid our emotional pain because we're afraid. My friend, a teacher, she's a teacher, minister, a grief expert, advanced griever. She shared this with me One woman told me that if she started to grieve, she was afraid she would never stop. We're afraid of our grief. We're afraid it will swallow us. We need help with our grief. A sign outside the Charlie Brown Foundation reads, "The Charlie Brown Foundation is now accepting donations. All proceeds go to good grief counselors." Francis Weller, a good grief counselor, author and soul activist, offers help in his book that we were introduced to this weekend, The Wild Edge of Sorrow, Rituals of Renewal and the Sacred Work of Grief. The Wild Edge of Sorrow. I've ordered myself a copy. He says, grief and love are sisters, woven together from the beginning. Their kinship reminds us that there is no love that does not contain loss, and no loss that is not a reminder of the love we carry for what we once held close. There is no love that does not contain loss. Because what is loss? Loss is the pain of separation from things we love, from things we value. I'm going to share a list of losses for you to reflect on. Loss of a beloved one. Loss of capacity, for example, loss of health or cognitive ability. Loss of trust. Loss of status. Loss of meaningful work. Loss of dreams, something we dreamed of doing or having or being. Loss of an organized government. Loss of material possessions. Loss of the ability to travel. Loss of the health of the earth. Loss of species and plants. Loss of meaning. Loss of a spiritual sense. So a lot of loss. One person says on memory loss, I have a photographic memory, I just forgot to load the film. There's this vast network of things that we have and then we don't have. It's the natural transaction, I guess you could call it, of life, of the flow of life. I myself can avoid feeling lost because I have this false belief that it'll knock me down, that it'll hurt me somehow. And this is untrue. I want to read, see if I have time. Yeah, I have time. I want to read a story from the Buddha. Maybe you've heard it before. It's the mustard seed story. So during the time of Buddha, Kisa, a young woman from a wealthy family, was happily married to an important man. When her only son was 1 year old, he fell ill and died suddenly. She was struck with grief and could not bear the death of her only child. Weeping and groaning, she carried her son's dead body from house to house, begging her neighbors for medicine or a way to bring her son back to life. Of course, nobody could help her, but this young woman would not give up. Finally, she came across a man who advised her to go and see the Buddha. She carried her dead child to the Buddha and told him her sad story. He listened with compassion and said, "There is only one way to solve your problem. Go and find me 4 or 5 mustard seeds." When the girl joyfully promised to go get them, the Buddha added, "The mustard seeds must come from a home where no one has lost a child, husband, wife, daughter, son, mother, father, or friend to death." Kisa, filled with hope, set off straight away to find her mustard seeds. As she went from house to house, the people pitied her, but said, "Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many." Very soon, Kisa discovered that every family she visited had experienced death. Wearily, Kisa sat down at the wayside as the darkness of night settled everywhere. She thought, "How selfish am I in my grief? Death is common to all." Once she accepted that death is inevitable, she buried her child in the forest. She understood that surely as life comes to all, so death comes to all. She took refuge in Buddha's teaching and found a balm to soothe the pain of her sorrowful heart. Buddha said, "The life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain, for there are no means by which those who have been born can avoid dying. After reaching old age, there is death. Just as fruit is in danger of falling prematurely, so too are mortals who once born are always in danger of death. As all earthen vessels made by a potter end up broken, so too is the life of mortals. Both young and old, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall prey to death." So again, this idea that we can avoid feeling our loss as a way of protecting ourselves is untrue. The truth is that skipping the grief of the loss, not feeling it, causes more entrenched suffering. Causes more entrenched suffering. You know, Kisa, she was grieving without end. Her story is a little different. She was grieving without end and needed that acceptance. In our case, I think our modern industrialized society doesn't give us the time to work with our loss, to discuss it, to be together with it. You know, we're in a culture that prefers to anesthetize, to move on quickly and to move on to other things, more shiny. But again, skipping this grief process causes this more entrenched suffering. Francis Weller writes, "When our grief cannot be spoken, it falls into the shadow and re-arises in us as symptoms. So many of us are depressed, anxious, lonely. We struggle with addictions and find ourselves moving at a breathless pace, trying to keep up with the machinery of culture. Many cultures do have rituals to process grief, and I think right away of La Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, or some Native American tribes. They have morning rituals that involve dance, song, sharing of stories that honor the dead, that bring the community together. Because mourning is really a communal act. We have a funeral so that we can get together, so that we can do it together with others. But when we're alone, we work with our grief as well. And the first step to working with grief, with dealing with our loss, is to recognize it. Saying to yourself, this is loss. This really hurts. This really matters. Tara offered us a mantra that she prescribes for our acknowledging our grief and loss, or sitting with it, allowing it, trusting that it won't hurt us. Her mantra is, nothing is wrong. Let go, let go. So say that aloud now. Nothing is wrong. Let go, let go. So let's do an inquiry now. Just see what it feels like. So maybe if you want, you can just close your eyes to help you imagine. And find your solid base. Feel the weight of your body here in the present moment as you're sitting. Feel that breath coming in to your body. And then bring into your mind something you've lost, something that brings up this pain of separation. And don't make it something traumatic or overwhelming, but something that you can really feel that pain of separation. And bring it into your mind now. And see if you can allow it to be there and sense where you feel that pain in your body, in your chest, the throat, the face, wherever it is for you, those physical sensations that arise in your body. And then saying to yourself, nothing is wrong. Let go. Let go. If you're able to stay with this feeling in your body, repeating that as you feel the discomfort, allowing that discomfort. Nothing is wrong. Let go. Let go. Noticing this loss that arose from a place of love. And then maybe going further and asking yourself, what do I most care about? What matters to me the most? What do you most care about? In this way of staying with our uncomfortable feelings, we are unlocking tremendous potential inside of us. We're creating space when we don't run away, when we allow it to really move through us.